Hello, it is Tuesday and it is a new weekly reading vlog. Yeah, I did not remember to start this vlog yesterday because yesterday was a day. I look like hell. I feel like hell. Today is not it. It is not even, I don't even have my watch on. It is 9:15 in the morning and today is already, I'm done with today. And it's not even started. I had so much to cram into yesterday that I just ended up not having enough time to start the vlog. I ended up having to finish the vlog from last week, and then I had to edit it. I had nearly 2 hours of footage. I could not keep my eyes open. It was so... Yesterday was a struggle bus. I feel like today's going to be a struggle bus. But then stupidly I stayed up until nearly 1 o'clock in the morning to finish the opera fair last night, because I got to a point where I was like this close. So I finished the opera fair last night and I really enjoyed it. There were a few bits where I can understand why people might not like it, like the thing that caused the third act breakup. One, I saw coming a mile off. Two, would have been potentially could have been not necessarily a deal breaker, but I feel like the reconciliation wasn't handled well. But I had to 5-star because the setup for the relationship, the chemistry that they had was too good. Like, I couldn't have dealt with it if they didn't get back together. So, like, you know, in real life, absolutely, I would have been like, no, we're not doing this. But since they're not real, I'm gonna we're gonna twist my morals a little bit to like make it work. I'm just getting ready for work, and then I think I've got it's the 13th, yeah, it's the 13th, so we've got the Chronicles of Ixia read-along live show today for Stormglass, and I have been like holding on to all my thoughts. I have so many thoughts. I've been holding on to them for tonight. So we've got that tonight, and I'm really excited because whole new thing, I've never read these before. So we've got that, and then hopefully today isn't as busy as yesterday was because I just need a break. I just came out to check if the chickens were in bed, and they're just chilling in bed. They're not happy with me. I'm just gonna put them to bed. Hey girls! Hello, it is Tuesday evening. I put my watch on the thing but didn't actually plug it into anything. Well done, Andy. It will actually charge now. So I'm now 131 pages into Vampires Never Get Old. So I am this far in. I'm still really enjoying it. It's interesting again to see all the different stories. Some of them are quite funny. The Desi vampire one was really funny. It was like a guidebook to being a Desi vampire, but like imagine you've just woken up and you're in a warehouse and like you open your phone to be like, what the fuck, and like there's this app and it's like, hello, don't worry, like we're gonna explain it all to you, and like basically you've been turned into a vampire. Yeah, it was funny. It was really funny. Quite cheeky as well, and I really liked it. Also, I decided to start Night of the Witch as well. I have decided to DNF at 32 pages in, which is unfortunate, which is like there. The writing style is just not... The writing style is just not vibing with me. I've jumped ahead a few chapters just to see how it gets on. I'm just not feeling the characters. I'm just not feeling the story. I'm just not feeling the writing. Yeah, I'm just not feeling it at all. I'm not interested. I'm quite bored. I'm skim reading it. So unfortunately this is going to be a DNF. It's just not that interesting to me, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to find another one to read for that prompt, which I think was my start a new series prompt. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is also the next book I brought down to start. I think instead of starting this, I am gonna probably just go to bed. I don't even know what time it is, but because my watch is charging, I've got the girls up and on my what's it called? Computer. I don't know what time it is. Wow. Santa Montefiore has written a lot of books. That's a lot of books. I hope this is a good one. This is what I've been anticipating, so I really hope this is a good one. Where's my capybara? There we go. I got my capybara one back. So I'm going to put this in this book. I think, oh God, I'm going to have to read for a little bit. While my watch charges. I don't know. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Anyway. I'm talking nonsense now, so I'm gonna go. Hello. It has been a day. And I should really go to bed because it's just past midnight. Oh my God. I came home to a letter saying that my car that I just bought, my new car that I just bought, was not taxed. I sat in that dealership while he tippy-tapped on his little laptop and took my bank details. I sat there giving him my bank details while he set up the tax. My mum was there sitting while he sat there setting up the tax and was like, "You're good to go. The tax is set up, the direct debit is set up." I sat there giving him all my bank details to set up the tax. Turns out, didn't actually set up the tax. And, well, obviously I know that because my car's not taxed. But it turns out he extra didn't set up the tax because I could not set up tax because the car was set up. The previous owner was exempt from paying tax because they were disabled. Which means that in order to set up tax for the car, you had to first apply to have the car tax bracket changed. Or tax, whatever it's called, changed. So you couldn't. So when I went on to the website to tax the car, I couldn't tax the car without changing it, which you can't do on the website. So he couldn't possibly have taxed the car. If he'd gone onto the website to tax the car, it would have told him he can't tax the car. There is no way he could have possibly, I don't know what he was doing on that screen when he was tippy-tapping and taking all my bank details and stuff, because there is no physical way that he could possibly have taxed the car. Like, I don't know what he was doing with my bank details. Like, nothing's come out of my account, which should have been a red flag, but like, the payment doesn't come out straight away because it's a direct debit. So I'm just like dotted about, like, I don't particularly pay attention to my direct debits for things like this. So like, so yeah, and I've not updated my finance. Like, I have a spreadsheet where I track all the money that comes out of my account. I've not updated that since I bought the car. Or I've not updated that recently. Like, it just didn't occur to me that the money has not been taken out of my account for the tax for the car. Because the money had been taken out from my previous car, and so much has been going on that I just trusted the fact that he had actually done it. And my mum asked me today, she was like, oh, have you got your second key yet? Have they sent that? And I was like, no, they haven't. So now I'm going to have to phone them to, one, rip them a new one about the fact that they hadn't done the tax, and two, ask about the second key. And I'm just going to throw in there and mention the fact that when I left the dealership, 2 of my tyres were unbelievably flat. The tyres weren't even, like, pumped up properly. And I mean, like, they were down at 13 psi. 13. They're meant to be up at 30. Nearly 40 psi on that car. They were at 13. They couldn't even check that. They couldn't even, like, make sure it was roadworthy. So yeah, I'm kind of pissed. It meant that I had to then, and luckily I ended up, because I phoned DVLA, and it was like, it's going to be a minimum of 30 minutes for you to be able to talk to somebody. And I was like, freaking out. I had to go to the hairdresser at 4 o'clock, and this is like the back of 2. And I still had to feed Hamish and everything, and I was like, oh my god. So eventually I was like, right, okay, it said on the website you can get a post office. Luckily the post office here can deal with that. So I grabbed all my crap, like I grabbed the letter, I grabbed my letter to say that I'm supposed to get a 50% discount on tax anyway, but they make it really complicated to get. So I just grabbed my letter to say that I should get the discount, grabbed my V5 for the car, because I can't print anything else off because my printer isn't working. Can't scan anything in because my printer's not working, or I can scan it, I just can't, like, print it. Went down to the post office, and the guy there, I told the guy what had happened, and he was like, mate, don't worry about it. I've got this. And he was like, right, I can't do the 50% because that's a whole different thing, but I can fix. He was like, I can either leave it as the disabled, like, free thing, or I can tax it. He was like, I can do both, can't do the middle one. And I was like, right, just tax it, just get it taxed, and we'll sort it out later. And he was like, yeah, he was like, if you do your, like, 50%, they should be able to just reimburse you for what you've, like, the half that you've already paid. And I was like, cool, fine, whatever. We will sort it out later. So he just did that, taxed it, we taxed the car. But, like, it was supposed to already be set up. Like, he said he was setting up a direct debit. What was he setting up? So I was almost in tears. Like, trying to get this sorted out. And then I went, like, luckily that guy sorted out so quickly that I actually had time to go to Costa and get myself a nice coffee, talk to my mum for a little bit, and then go to the hairdressers, get my hair cut. Also, I'm getting it next time I go to the hairdressers, which will be the 4th of October. I won't just be getting a trim, I'll be getting it coloured. And I'm going to go for, we're doing like a half head of highlights. We're going to like add some dimension in, because that's something I've not actually done before, is get like natural highlights to give it some like dimension, because it feels really flat. And I did want to have colour, but I've kind of gone off that. I want to do some highlights, do some like, just do something with it to make it more, you know, just give it some dimension, give it some flow, whatever. So, anyway, reason wise, like I say, I need to go to bed. So, reason wise, I got to page 181 in this. So I only have 3 stories left. I have Mirrors, Windows and Selfies. And then The House of Black Sapphires, and then First Kill are the only 3 left in this. I actually really, so far, so far my favourite story has actually been Vampirism by Zoraida Cordova and Natalie C. Parker, who are the editrixes of the whole thing. That was really interesting. And yeah, so yeah, I've got 3 more stories to go in this, and that'll be me finished with it. I'm really enjoying this so far. Like, it's really bringing me back to like the vampire stories that I read as a child, as like a teenager, as a child. I know what I mean. Like, it's that sort of young adult, vampire-y, angsty sort of thing. And honestly, all the stories are so different, but every single author is serving. I'm really impressed. I'm very, very impressed with every single story. Every single story's got a different angle, and I am not mad at any of them. I've not been rating them, that's the only thing, because like, me and short stories are just, I don't know how to rate them, you know. I've also, I think I said I started this, but I've continued this, and I have just one more chaptered myself into 117 pages into this book. So I was gonna like stop, and then I realised I was 1 chapter away from this section. So like, this is set in 3 timelines, although I've discovered flicking through the book, because there's different birds as chapter headings. So there's like this one, and then there's this one, and I wondered what the significance was of the birds. And so the little bird, the swallow or swift, I can't remember which kind of bird this is the 1944 one, and then this one is the 1988 one, and then 1995 actually only is the prologue and the epilogue, so we don't get 1995 as like a third run-through storyline, which is unfortunate because I would have liked more of that. But this is actually not what I thought it was going to be. I was thinking, and it's made me really sad, like, it's actually really upset me, the twist that has happened so early in the book. Because I thought that Max, so it's 1944, Rupert Dash is declared missing, like on the back, Rupert Dash is declared missing, presumed dead, during the Battle of Arnhem. His wife Florence is devastated, she can't accept he's gone and knows he will return to her. London, 1988, Max suffers from a recurring nightmare where he is surrounded by horrific chaos of the battlefield. Desperate to understand why he is haunted by such terrible visions, Max embarks on a journey that leads him to Cornwall and a man called Rupert Dash. My theory was that he was going to have been Rupert, and that he lost his memory during the war, and this was him gaining it back 44 years later. Like, and they were going to reconcile. Like, in 1995, Florence receives a letter from a stranger who says she remembers a life that belonged to another before him. So I thought that Rupert and Florence were going to be reunited, like a Letters to Juliet style, like, thing. And then we're only, the first set of chapters were in 1937, so before World War II starts, and Rupert and Florence have only just met. Not only just met, they know, like, their families know each other, because they're like high society families. So they kind of know each other, but Florence is like 18, sorry. She's just about to turn 18, it's just about her birthday. And Rupert is, like, she's in love with Rupert's brother, but he doesn't notice her, and Rupert's in love with her. But Rupert's like 4 years older than her. And so, like, they've just, like, kind of met properly and had that sort of, like, attraction to each other for the first time. Like, he's just become attracted to her because it's the first time he's been around her properly. And the first time she's been around him properly. Because normally, like I say, like, she is around his little brother who's around the same age. So his brother's like 2 years older than Florence, and then he's 2 years older than his brother. So the first time they've been together, and they've started to have that attraction for each other. And then we switch to Max's perspective, and Max is in 1988. Max is 25, and I was like, that immediately broke my heart, and I was like, it's not Rupert. And so I'm now thinking Rupert is gone. Like, he's actually gone, and that really hurts me, because I had so much hope that Rupert and Florence would be reunited and get to spend their golden years together. And I'm now thinking that it might be like more of like a paranormal past life situation where Max is having this reoccurring nightmare because he was Rupert in a past life, which is amazing. Like, that, I'm so up for that. Like, I am incredibly up for that. Do not get me wrong, I'm so excited to explore that avenue, but there's part of my heart that's just completely shattered with the idea that Florence and Rupert will never get to be together again. Because, like, if they only met in 1937 and Rupert was missing in 1944, that's like 37, 38, 39, 40, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, that's 7 years they get to be together, but not really, because 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 6 of those years, or 5 of those years, the world was at war, and so maybe 5 of those years Rupert is away at war. So, like, I just want them to be together. Because, like, even though, like, the first few chapters are, and I'm only 117 pages in, and, like, it switches over, 80 odd pages in. Like, the first 80 pages, 80, 90 pages, say, you're seeing Florence's point of view, and Rupert isn't introduced until, like, halfway through that. So you don't get much of Rupert. Rupert's, like, you don't see Rupert very much. But I am so, like, I love Rupert so much already. Like, he is so kind and so sweet and so, but just kind. Like, I'm gonna be very sad. This book's gonna break my heart. I can just tell. This is given, so far, this has given me what I expected The Forgotten Shore to give me. And yeah, this book's gonna completely break me. I can just feel it. Because it said separated by war, reunited by love. Like, this book's gonna break me, and I don't want it. I want to sit up and read it, but I need to go to bed. I need to go to bed, but yeah, I can just feel already that this book is going to completely shatter my heart, and I'm not ready for it. I am not ready, but I can't. It's got its hooks in, and I'm going to have to read it. But, like, maybe it can be, like, paranormal in the sense that, like, he's in a coma somewhere, and, like, he's connecting to Max psychically, and, like, Max finds him, and then they can reunite Florence. I don't know. Like just like Heaven, you know, and Just Like Heaven, the movie, where, like, she's in a coma, and, like, she's like astral projecting into her house. I don't know. This book's gonna break my heart, isn't it? It's gonna shatter me. It's gonna absolutely shatter me. Anyway, I need to go to bed. I need to go to bed because I have work tomorrow. So I will update you tomorrow probably with Flood of Tears. Hello, it is Thursday and I'm just getting ready to go to bed. I have not done everything I needed to do today, but I'm just gonna have to do it tomorrow because, well, today did not go how I thought it was gonna go. Such is life. We need to adapt, you know. I'm gonna take these off so I'm not getting reflections. Yeah, it's fine. You know, I ended up, I went down to get my tattoo removal done, and we ended up chatting instead because she's not, we went over the whole urticaria thing again, and medications and stuff that's changed, and she was saying that she's not, even though the doctor said that he thinks it shouldn't be a problem, she wasn't overly comfortable with the timescale. She thinks if we leave it another 4 weeks, that'll be better. for doing the laser removal, just to make sure we're completely in a safe bracket for, like, she went through it all, and like she would be more comfortable leaving it another 4 weeks before we do any more laser stuff. And she's the expert on the laser, like it was the owner that does like all the laser, like she's just I sat there, like I was there for literally an hour, well, half an hour that I was talking to her. That should have been my appointment, and we went over like in detail, and she's going to do more research and stuff like that. She would just feel more comfortable, like better safe than sorry sort of thing. And at the end of the day, that's her speciality. I totally 100% back what she feels comfortable doing. So, you know. And then I sat and spoke to the other girl that was there, who was like working kind of more like receptions for the next half an hour while she had somebody else in doing another appointment. So yeah, because I'm a blether, she literally came out and she was like, "Are you still here?" And I was like, "I told you she was going to say that when she came out." And they started laughing. Because yeah, we were just blethering. Because it's me, a blether. Yeah, so that was an hour that, well, half an hour that I wasn't expecting to spend down there because I was too busy blethering. I also took half an hour to get home from work because a cattle lorry overturned on the road with cattle in it. Luckily, the driver, the cattle, they were all fine. As far as we're aware, they got everybody out, but it went over at 10:30, and it only got cleared at about 6 o'clock, like fully the road reopened at like 5, 6 o'clock. Kay left her work at 4:30. It is a 7-minute drive. She got in the door at 5:30. It took an hour because of all the traffic that had built up. I'm a 3-minute drive. It took me about half an hour. It was seriously backed up. So I lost about an hour's worth of time today, just from things that didn't need to be done. And then I was like doom scrolling. And then Kay's mum and dad came over as well, which was nice. Unexpectedly. Not unexpectedly, as in like they just showed up. Like they'd messaged to say they were coming over to help with the garden. But we ended up just chatting because we had ordered food, because like Kay was shattered, I was shattered, so we just ordered food, but it took longer to get here than it should have. So they had already arrived, like Kay's mum and dad got here, and then our food got here, so then we were eating. So then they ended up not being able to go out and doing anything in the garden, so we just sat and chatted. They got food, we had food. It was just, they just came over to chat. It was nice. We had a visit because Kay's dad isn't here all the time, so it was nice to sit and chat. So yeah, I didn't get everything done. I think the only thing I didn't get done, I forgot to phone the physio again, which is totally on me. I just need to what I need to do, I'm going to take the paperwork to work tomorrow and do it when I finish work, like while I'm still there, to remind myself how to do it, like to do it. And then the only other thing I didn't do is edit my video, which is fine, so I can do that tomorrow. And I chose, instead of editing, I decided to read. I could have done one or the other. I decided to read, so yeah. What I did, I finished this. I almost hit myself in the face with that. I had 3 stories to go. I read one before I had my appointment. And then I read the other 2 stories after Kay's mum and dad left. So yeah, finished this. Really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. Having all the different stories, given that it's an anthology, that's how anthologies work, Andy. I actually really, really enjoyed it. I loved all the different versions of vampires. Like, it just really spoke to me. Even though it was YA, and I've kind of gone off YA, I actually really enjoyed this. So I'm really, really happy with that. I just couldn't give it 5 stars just because I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I'm just not getting the 5-star feeling from a lot of books. I don't know if it's just me. Like, there was nothing wrong with anything. It just didn't give me that, like, you know, I don't know, it's me. But yeah, I absolutely love this, and there was so many of these stories that I would easily pick up as, like, a full-length novel. So, like, they hooked me at, like, I'm not used to reading anthologies, short stories, things like that, so the fact that they hooked me in so quickly, I'm just really, really impressed with, because I'm not used to reading this format. So I just think that's just shows the extreme talent of all of these authors.
like, so many authors, so many different styles, so many different stories, and not once was I bored. Not once was I just like, eh. Not one story would I have skipped. Like, I enjoyed all of them, so I'm very happy. I'm so glad I picked this up. And it just reminded me of how much I love, like, vampires as a concept. So, yeah, I'm so happy about this. And I'm so glad I picked it up. And that means I've now read 8 books. 8 books I've read. I'm halfway through my TBR and I'm so thrilled. And then I have also been reading more of this, so I'm now 204 pages into this book. I am this far, and when I tell you this book is absolutely breaking my heart. Like, I am so, like, this, it's funny because I picked this from a like 2+ genre thing, thinking it was going to be like historical plus mystery, but this is like historical plus epic romance, because oh my god, am I not absolutely completely head over heels for this romance story. Like, I'm not okay. Like, during the scene where, like, because it moves along their story, the romance really quickly, you just get, like, clips of their romance, like a montage, almost, of their love story. And it's set during the start of like, their romance kind of starts in 1937, so it moves very quickly through World War II. And so they only get snippets and bits and pieces together because he's away to war and she's working as a nurse, so like they only get to see each other when he's back from leave, on leave and stuff like that, and so you only get like these snippets and stuff when they get to spend really intense time together. And they both truly believe that they are soulmates. They have this shared spirituality of like, they believe in like reincarnation and that they are soulmates and that they find each other in each life, and that they always oh my god, I'm gonna go. That they always find each other in each life, and oh my god, do I believe it. Like, like these two just, they make me believe it. Like, that they just belong together, that they fit together, that this love that they have for each other is just, and the thing is though, like, even they admit that they move so fast, like they get engaged after 2 years of being together, and it's, their families don't see it as being weird because they're from like high society families, so like, because of the type of families they're from, it's like seen as a good match and things like that. And like, they've kind of grown up together, like they've been aware of each other for so long, like they went to school with their siblings, like, you know what I mean, they've literally lived next door to each other, so it's like, it's not like they've just met, been together 2 years, like they've been very much aware of each other for their entire lives, but they've only been like partnered together for 2 years, but they have this deep entrenched love, like, and like I say, they feel like they're soulmates. And then with the intensity of the war, that feeling on edge, even before, like, 1939 is when Britain entered the war. Like, the World War started in 1939 because that's when certain powers entered the war and it became a world war. But the war in Europe started before that. So, for example, Germany annexed Austria and invaded Czechoslovakia and etc before then. So like, I think they annexed Austria, I believe, in 1937, 1938. So like, even in 1937, 1938, they are aware that the war is on the horizon. Like, they are aware that something is brewing, that they are not, like, the older folks who went through World War I are seeing this happen and they're like, this is not going to end well. Like, they can see, they can feel the energy that happened during that led up to the First World War happening again. They can feel the tension, they can feel that it's going to happen again. And the younger ones, maybe not necessarily, but the older ones are feeling it coming. And so it gives this feeling of urgency, this feeling of tension that makes people, it gives us this level of intensity to these relationships that Santa Montefiore is just putting so well into this book and into this relationship. Like, like, these kinds of relationships happen so often, and like I said, it is this kind of high society kind of relationship, so nobody would question it anyway, but I fully 100% believe in their love. I fully 100% believe in the spirituality. Like, there is a slight paranormal twist to this book. There is the idea of past lives. Like, one of the characters in, like, Max believes that he is having dreams of a past life where he is dreaming of what happened to Rupert during the war. And so there is this element of past lives and that idea of reincarnation. And so, like, I truly, the way they speak, like, the way this is making me feel is I truly do believe, like, they are making me feel and truly believe that they are soulmates. Like, it just feels so real, so right, so, like, pure. And there was an Adele song, I can't even remember what Adele song it was. Make You Feel My Love, that was it. That was the whole point I was trying to get to. So, the Adele song, Make You Feel My Love, was playing during their wedding, like the clip, kind of montagey bit, when their wedding was, and I was like, I don't need this to feel, because I had the radio on, and it's playing like all the slow, like, put you to sleep songs, because it's like nearly midnight, and I was like, I don't need this when they're getting married. Like, they got engaged in, like, the May or something, and they planned for their wedding to be in the October, and Britain goes to war in September, and Rupert obviously goes away to war, and obviously their wedding is, like, they can't have the wedding in the, or is it May? They get engaged in they're, like, earlier in the year. They plan to have the wedding in October, Britain goes to war in the September, and so they can't have their wedding in October like they planned, and then they decide later on, like the next year, that they're just going to have a small church wedding, not the big society wedding that they were planning on having, because they just want to be together, they just want to be married, they just want to be man and wife, they just want to be each other's forever. And so they have this small wedding in their local church with their family that can make it, because petrol is rationed and not everybody can make it, instead of this big society wedding that they both were supposed to have because of their positions in the world. And the Adele song was playing in the background, and I was just like, guys, why? Like, who ordained this to happen? Because, like, I am not holding it together reading this book, watching them getting married, aware of the fact that she's going to lose him, and, like, I can't deal with this. I am reading this book, and every single time they are happy, or every single time, like, something happens, I am so solidly aware that, like, it is going to be ripped out from under them, and I just cannot. And it's like we've reached the part of the book now where she's gotten the telegram to say, like, he's missing, and I'm just like, no, don't do this to me. Please, somebody get me, like, a miracle. But I don't think we're going to get a miracle. I'm so upset. Like, this is so... And then, obviously, she gets the telegram and we move on to... It definitely moves to a different chapter. So the war has ended now. Basically, in the 1930s, or the 1940s, obviously, perspective, the war has ended. And then we'll swap perspective to Max in the 1980s. 1988. And he has just gone to... There's my pill reminder. And he has now, just for the first time, gone to Gulliver's, whatever it's called, Gulliver's Bay, which is where these two used to live, where they met, because he's trying to find out, like, what happened to Rupert in, like, the future, or in the past, like, in his present, but in the you know what I mean? Like, Max is trying to figure out what's happening, why he's having these dreams, that sort of thing. And honestly, I'm absolutely hooked. I just want to keep reading. I want to find out, but I don't want to know, if that makes sense. Like, I want to know what happened to him, but I don't want to know what happened to him. Does that make sense? Like, I want to know what happened to Rupert, but I don't want Rupert to be gone. I want Rupert to be okay, but I don't think Rupert's going to be okay. And I'm not okay with that. This is making me so sad. Like, I want Rupert to be okay, but I know he's not going to be okay. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. It's been a long time since a historical fiction has made me feel like this. Like, I thought I was going off World War II historical fictions, but this is really hit me hard. And I don't know if it's because of the romance, like, because romance can still affect me like this if it's written well. And, like, it really, like, the whole thing, like, I've always been like this with romance in certain books, and the idea of, like, losing somebody that close to you, losing somebody that you love in a way that is, like, totally out of your control just really hits me right in the feels. Like, that's why the end of, I was going to say something, I'm not going to say it. The end of a particular book hits me particularly hard because it's not even, you're not even going to know what book I'm talking about. But there's a specific book that other people hate the ending of, that I love the ending of, but the ending also destroys me at the same time because, like, even though I understand the character's decision, it breaks my heart because the idea of losing somebody, like, that is my worst nightmare. I was like losing somebody I love and not being able to, like, have, like, just not be able to, like, see them again. Like, I hate that. That is my worst nightmare. Like, that is my biggest fear. And, like, especially, like, can you imagine? I can't, that's why, like, In Memoriam and stuff like that, like, those books, like, that's why I was like, I was like, you can maim them, you can disable them, you can do whatever you want to them, just bring them both back alive. Like, I don't care what you do, Alice, just bring them both back alive. I can't deal with it if you kill one of them. Like, that's why I need, for romance novels and things like that, for a lot, or not necessarily for, like, but for a lot of my books, like, I need the happily ever afters. I need these ridiculous endings where, despite everything that the character's gone through, they get back. Like, I need that ending because I cannot handle the ending where they don't come back. It makes me very sad. It upsets me a lot. And this one is upsetting me a lot. But it's so well written and I love it so much. Like, I love it. That sounds really stupid. I love it in the sense that, like, it is doing the things, it is making me feel the feels in a way that is so well crafted, but I don't like the feelings that it's making me feel, if that makes sense. But I'm gonna go to bed because I'm tired. I'm tired. Well, then take a nap and then fires the missiles. Yes, I'm going to bed. So I told you this was going to happen. I told you the next time I updated you on this book, there was going to be tears. And there's not, like, tears, I'm just welling up. But, oh my god, there's also I've got, like, something in this eye. Like, I know I shouldn't rub it. Because that's what happened last time with whichever eye, ow, I just flicked myself in the nose. Whichever eye it was, where I got something in my eye, and I rubbed it, and I scratched the hell out of my eye, and had to get antibiotics and stuff, that I had to drop her into my eye, and I was complaining about it for however long it took to do that. So I need to stop rubbing my eye when there's something in it. Go to bed, you insufferable idiot. It's Friday tomorrow, which means it is the weekend. I have Len Penny in Edinburgh with Vicky on Saturday, so I'll take you with me. And then next week it's holiday time, so I only have 4 hours to work tomorrow, and then I'm free for a week, or a week and a bit, because obviously Saturday, Sunday, and then the whole week next week. So go to bed. You go to bed. Ow. I'm going to bed. I just went to start recording and got an alert from a medication. So, med check. If you've not taken your medicine. I tried to say medicine and medication at the same time, and that went a bit tits up. If you've not had your meds yet and you're supposed to have taken meds right now, take your meds. Just let's take our meds together. Good job. Well done. I'm proud of you. Anyway, back to our why do I even do this? Regularly scheduled programming. Jesus H. Roosevelt Christ. Sorry, apparently Outlander popped into my head. What is wrong with me? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. That is a can of worms we don't want to open. Anywho. I am ready for the day, as you can see. I decided to wear my Nickelback tour t-shirt. This is the t-shirt I got for when we went to see the Get Rollin' tour. And I've got skinny jeans on. You just can't see them because they're like down here. And before I went in the shower, I finished Wait For Me. I wanted to finish it last night, but I was so tired that my eyes were blurring. Like, I couldn't physically read the words, and I was like, I can either like beast through this and finish it, but like at what cost, or I can just put it down and finish it in the morning. So I did that, finished it this morning, and I give it 5 stars because I absolutely loved it. And then what made it even better was that in the author's note, it was, oh my god, I'm covered in fallen hair because of the fact that I've just had a shower and just blown out my hair. Something is weird going on with my fringe though. I think I've brushed it funny or dried it funny. Anyway, back to the actual, so much hair. Go away. Back to the actual point. Yeah, so the afterword from the author was to say that this is based loosely on a true story. So, why is there now a fly? This clip is a hot mess. Like, what next? I will hit you with my book. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, so this is based loosely on a true story. So, it is based on the experience of a man named Simon who had dreams of dying and a war during the war. Oh my god, of dying during World War II in a place called Arnheim. Is it Arnheim? Let me just double check that. I can't find it anymore. So this man named Simon was having recurring dreams about this experience of a soldier in World War II, and it really started to niggle at him, and it really started to it felt too real. The dreams felt too real to be just dreams, and they were too vivid and too much. And so he went to someone, I don't know if it's before or after, but he went to someone to do I can't remember if it was before, again, I have not read but basically, so he went through the process of like doing a regression, which is when someone walks you through like going back into like letting your subconscious take over and pulling up memories that are deep down, and he was pulling up very specific memories that were not of his time, so like World War II memories from a time he was not alive. And so they looked back in his family tree and found this relative who had died in World War II, and it fit really well, like too well together. And so he started doing research into this relative, and it was someone he'd never heard of, a part of his family tree that it was like a distant cousin that he'd never really heard of or had any connection with. And then when he did some research about this cousin, I think cousin or uncle or something, when he did research, he found, so the soldiers keep diaries and officers keep diaries of battles and things like that. He did some research into this, got a hold of the museum that kept the diary and was able to look at the diary and read it. And it's not a diary, it's like a log diary. Like they have to break down everything that happened and keep a record of it, that sort of diary, and found that the sequences kept in the diary of how his relation died in World War II matched exactly to the dreams he had been having and the memories he pulled up in the regression. So he had no way of knowing that, and so he and his family and people that he works with for this believe that it's a past life regression, that he lived as him and in his past life. And so like he's been doing a lot of research into this, and they even talked about it on Richard and Judy. He was on Richard and Judy talking about it on a because he was in a book called Deja Vu, A New Look at Past Lives, and Santa Montefiore ended up meeting him somehow, and they decided to write this book. So this is kind of taking the idea of what happened to him and creating this fictional narrative around it. So this isn't his story, but it is his story. And they also wrote in how like the fictional love story of the two in the past, and honestly, this love story between these two was the most heartbreaking thing, one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever read, because the love was tangible, and I can't talk about it again because it's going to send me off. Honestly, just thinking about it, it's one of those things that just... But yeah, like, I loved this book. There was a few questionable things for one of the characters, but like, it's, it was a choice, but it's fine. I kind of wish we could have had more time with Florence in the present. So Florence wasn't really a character that we saw much of in the present. Florence we followed in the past, because Florence and Rupert were together. I whistled. Florence and Rupert are the ones that were together in World War II. And then we lose Rupert, and then Max is the one that's finding out about the past life regression in the 80s and early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And then at the very start and the very end, we see Florence in the 90s, in 1995. But I really wish we could have had some interaction between Florence and Max, like really seen them getting to know each other. Because Florence did believe, she believed in reincarnation. Rupert believed in reincarnation. Max definitely starts to believe in reincarnation as he is reliving this, you know. So yeah, I did not expect it to be a reincarnation story. I genuinely believed this was going to be like, he was maybe injured and got lost and lost all his memories and didn't know who he was, and then started to recover the memories and found Florence later on, like a Letters to Juliet, Letters to Juliet obviously doesn't lose his memory, but like that whole thing where like two people are together when they're younger, lose touch over time, and then get back to like find each other again when they're older, sort of idea. So I thought it was going to be like they lose touch, like they lose each other through the war, and he goes missing and ends up living, like I've read books like that before where there was one where they were meant to meet at the American library in Paris, and because he was injured, he misses her by a day, and she thinks he's dead, and so she goes to America, and he doesn't know that she's gone to America, and then later on he finds her again, but they've already lived their lives, they've had children, they've been married, and they've had their whole lives, and they've lost that time together, and it's so heartbreaking. It's just all that time they could have had together. Like that book also, I think it was called the American Library, or the Paris Library. It was called the Paris Library, but it was the American Library in Paris. I think it's what it was. But oh my god. So yeah, I thought it was going to be like one of those ones where like they lose each other for like a time. She goes to Australia and he is missing in action, but is actually in another country somewhere and has lost his memories. And Max is him, like actually him. But no, it was like past life paranormally type thing. Which I love because and it's based on, like I said, based on a true story, because Simon has had these types of visions like dreams, and visions seems like such a, I don't like to use the word visions because it makes it seem like, I don't know, it doesn't, the word vision doesn't convey what I actually mean, because I'm fully behind the idea of reincarnation. Like, there are some things we just can't explain. Does everybody reincarnate? Possibly not. Does everybody remember the reincarnations? Most likely not. But there are too many instances for me where people remember things or people know things they shouldn't know. Like, there was a little boy, a 7-year-old, who managed to lead authorities to the site of a plane that went down and give them details that he should not have been able to know, and was able to, like, he met the friend of the guy that went down in the plane and was able to tell him details about conversations they'd had during the Second World War. Like, personal details that nobody else knew except those two. There's no other way to explain that. Like, there's no leading a child, like, no, there was no, you know, there are going to be people who are sceptical about it, of course, like, you believe what you want to believe, but personally, there's too much evidence for and not enough against for me not to believe in things like that. And, you know, if so many people want to believe in a sky daddy, you're not going to tell me that something like reincarnation can't work. Energy, scientifically, energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be recycled, reused, changed form. And so, why can't reincarnation just be a change of energy somehow? You know, I don't know, but I really liked the change in direction that the direction that I went in that I wasn't expecting. So I really, really enjoyed this. This broke my heart into so many pieces, but I loved it so, so much. It's been a long time since I've loved a World War II historical fiction this much. And yeah, it spanned such a long time. Like, it didn't just, like, everything didn't just happen in a year. Like, it went, the chapters from Florence went from 1937 to when did she go to Australia? To 1947. So 10 years, at least, it spanned. And then Max's chapters spanned from 1988 to 1993, I want to say. 1995. That sort of, you know, so it spanned quite a decent amount of chunk of time as he's researching and as she's like going through the war and things like that. And yeah, so next batch of reading time. So I've pulled these three for my next sort of batch of reading. This one again is a World War II historical fiction. This is about three women, Maddie and her two daughters. Maddie's husband is lost during the war. He's missing in action, kind of lost, and her house is bombed during the Blitz. Their house is bombed during the Blitz, and so her and her daughters go to his family home to seek refuge, to kind of have somewhere to live. But they find out when they are there that there are secrets there, and something happened years before the war, and it is sort of coming back to haunt them. But she doesn't have her husband to talk to find out what actually happened. So I feel like it's going to be like a little bit of mystery. Obviously something's going on. I read the sort of prologue, which is set in 1977, and I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued because it seems like there's something scandalous to do with her mother. So I'm intrigued already. And I did love Rachel Hoare's A Beautiful Spy, which was about a real woman during World War II. She was like not a spy master, is not what I was going to say. It was what I was going to say, but it's not what I quite meant. So I know that she can write very, very well, but I don't know if this is about real women. I don't know if this is based on real women or not. So this is her 12th novel, so let's see how it goes. I've also pulled Gilded to read. This is my 12 and 12 book for this month. I am so nervous to read this. On the one hand, I am scared and I'm worried this is going to be a DNF because it's fantasy and I'm really not a fantasy reader. But on the other hand, it's Marissa Meyer, and I know I like Marissa Meyer, so I don't know. But it's 500 pages. It is, I think, young adult romance. Young adult fantasy romance. And I don't know. I think this is also a Sleeping Beauty retelling. because it says that she says she can spin straw into gold. And in despair, she unwittingly summons a mysterious young man to her aid, and he agrees to help her for a price. So I'm guessing that's like Rumpelstiltskin. So it's like a Sleeping Beauty Rumpelstiltskin. Is it Sleeping Beauty who does the spinning? No, it's just Rumpelstiltskin. It's just a Rumpelstiltskin retelling. I'm talking absolute nonsense. So this is like a fairy tale Rumpelstiltskin retelling, which is interesting. I don't know. I'm scared. So I just want to rip the plaster off. So also I've brought this downstairs, which is Some Kind of Guy, which is the first in the Queen's Cove series by Stephanie Archer. I love Stephanie Archer's hockey romances. And this is like small town romance. I picked up one of them and it was like Hot Firefighter, and I was like, well, now I need to read it. So we shall see. This is like fake fiance. He's running for mayor, but he needs to look like he's a family man type thing. It's like we're total opposites. He's a golden retriever and I'm a black cat. Yeah. I don't know if this is like, I don't know. I'm trusting the process because I really like Stephanie Archer. I do have books 1, 3 and 4 in this. I don't have book 2, so this could be interesting if I love this and want to jump into the next one, but the next one is not on my TBR, so it's just gonna have to be this one. Yeah. So that's kind of like my palette cleanser if things go terribly wrong. Anyway, I need to get ready to go because what time is it? Summertime. Sorry, I have been watching a guy on TikTok watch High School Musical for the first time, so that's all that's going through my head. It is 12:20, which means I need to leave in the next like half an hour at like latest. So I need to get my butt up and get my stuff ready and get my teeth brushed. And so I always brush my teeth before leaving the house. It's the habit I got into. Remember my meds, because I'll probably be away by the time I need to take my meds. Feed here, she's like, I have stuff to do, basically. I'll see you later. Hello, it is Sunday and I am trying to edit this video before I get really, well, I've picked all my clothes out for packing. I just need to actually like put them in the suitcase, but I couldn't be arsed picking up the suitcase, putting it on the bed because it's a big suitcase because I need to put my pillows and stuff in it. So we got like a giant suitcase. And we've just had a delivery, and remember how I was saying I had book 1 and I was going to read it? It's literally over here. Wait a minute. So here's book 1. I know how I said I had book 1, 3 and 4 and I didn't have book 2. Well, this just arrived. Unfortunately, there is no note because thanks Amazon. But I got a message from Lisa yesterday saying that there was something on the way for my birthday. So I'm thinking it might be Lisa. I'm awaiting a message her now, but I was too excited not to be like, oh my god, I was just talking about this yesterday. So I thought I had to tell you. So I'm going to go and ask Lisa if it was her. Edit and Andy will tell you if I'm right up here. I'm also possibly going to try and edit this today. And get it up for... Oh no! That almost went flying and landed on Hamish. Let's not do that. Yeah, what was I saying? Try and get this edited and uploaded for Tuesday because I leave tomorrow for the cabin. I don't know, I need to check. Andy, this is your reminder to check with Vicky what time check-in is. I know I need to pick up someone at 3 in Dundee. I don't think anybody's getting dropped off at the train station here. I think they're all just meeting us in Dundee, so that is fine. Oh, I also got a book yesterday. Just one book. I managed to only do one book. This is Tales of Twilight. this is a, what's the word? Anthology of ghost stories, selected by Alistair Kerr. And it is many different ghost stories. 200 years of Scottish ghost stories. And let's just have a wee look here. Let's just have a wee look. So we've got James Hogg, Sir Walter Scott, Anonymous, Margaret Oliphant, Sir Robert Louis Stevenson, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Guy Boothby, Algernon Blackwood, Eileen Bigland, Ronald Duncan, George Mackay Brown, Muriel Spark, James Robertson, and Ian Rankin. So, a selection of authors across years. So I just feel like this is going to be really interesting. It was sitting at the top of a, like right at the top of a shelf, and I couldn't reach it, and I was like, ooh, that's really pretty, like I want to see that. And I was like, but I'm not going to make you get that down. Like I said to Vicky, I was like, I'm not going to make you get that down because I'm not going to buy it, I just want to look at it, and I'm not going to make you reach for that when I'm not going to buy it. And then this guy that was standing next to us, obviously I didn't hear everything I said, but it was just, he came over and he was like, oh, like, what one is it? I'll get it for you. And before I could say anything, Vicky was like, oh, it's that one. And he passed it down to me, and I was like, I need to get this book now. Like, there was no way I was putting it back up on the shelf in front of him. And he was really nice about it. And he was like, tried to do that nice thing where he was like, oh, I'm sure you could have, like, sure you could have got it yourself. Like, I'm just, like, you know. And I was like, no, literally I can't reach. I'm too short. And he was like, oh, okay. Like, he was obviously just trying to be nice. And he was like, well, it's nice to be useful for once. It's like, God. And then he was like, then he was like, oh, sorry, can I just like squeeze past you so that I can go? He was like, I'm just gonna go over there. Like I'm just, he was like, but I mean, I'll be around if you need me, I'll just, you know, shout. It's like, okay, fine. He was really dead nice. He wasn't like, he was so nice, he was so funny. Just awkward. It was so funny, but it was just that awkward thing where I was like, I was not planning on buying this book. It's just so pretty with the foiling, but I had to buy it after he got it down for me, and I was like, I can't put this back up here. And there's only one copy of it, so, but yeah, it is something I'm interested in. I do have like another ghost story collection somewhere, but it's like a lot smaller, and I am interested in Scottish things. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to editing. I've literally got 2 minutes, almost exactly, left to edit. So I'm gonna go edit this, and then I should probably do some more packing. Can you tell I'm procrastinating packing? Because I don't want to. And some reading. I need to do some reading. But my brain's like, what's the point in reading? I'm procrastinating reading because the 2 books that I've brought down are 2 books I'm not sure I'm gonna like. So I'm procrastinating reading, and then I'm like, well, why don't you just read your romance? No, because your romance that you're reading is a reward for reading the books that you don't want to read. Anyway, I'm gonna go edit my 2 minutes and get this exporting. Hello, it's Monday. I absolutely forgot to finish the vlog last night because I got really sick with migraine and ended up going to bed very, very early. So I'm finishing it up here. I can't remember what I was planning on doing last night, but I ended up in bed at like 9 o'clock, even before 9 o'clock, so yeah. Yeah, I am going to attempt to edit this today at some point, but I don't know how that's going to go. The weather is starting to take a turn, because of course it is, but we will update all that in next week's vlog. Next week is my birthday week vlog, and I'm up at the cabin with all the Soupy holiday people, so I will try and vlog that if I'm not too awkward, but we all know what I'm like, so yeah. If you want to let me know you were here but you don't want to sit and type something, if you leave me some kind of, I don't know, some kind of green emoji because it's the green background, I don't know. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.